So we've embarked on a future class study, and we're looking at the evolution of classification, dealing with a new safety dimension known as cyber, and cyber safety more specifically. Because we view that as a very important evolution for the marine business, because we all know we live in this interconnected world, and there's issues that affect us all, from just human mistakes to people that have ulterior motives. That's one example. Another example is dealing with new inspection technology, specifically dealing with the fact that a lot of our vessels are getting smarter. So they have new types of instrumentation and sensor packages. So it becomes a great opportunity for us at ABS to really understand the impacts of the fact that we have performance data, and that we see a future where classification becomes more condition-based, and we then can take the fact that it's continuous, condition-based, and do risk-based assessments to alter potentially the way surveys will be done in the future. The next part of that deals with the fact that we have all seen in the press about drones. So of course we're all focused on that as well, but we're doing, in addition to the airborne, we're also doing below the surface of the water, where we can do underwater hull inspection. The next piece deals with the fact that we want to also look into the future where potentially we can use augmented reality, where we see it in movies, and you see it in aviation, where you have a heads-up display, and where surveyors of the future can then do their job well-informed, because they're receiving data that has been pre-processed to align with the instrumentation or the sensors that says, okay, here's where you should really focus your energies on in the future survey process. So it's a very powerful new technology that we're working very actively with. Those are a couple examples. At ABS, we've been focused on a new area in cyber. We call it ABS Cyber Safety. And ABS Cyber Safety has 6 major pieces to it. Cybersecurity is, of course, one of the components. We also have a cyber test environment, data assurance, where we want to ensure that data from the source, where it's created, to where it's intended at the user, where we have data integrity and data security. The 4th major piece that we're working on in cyber safety is dealing with what we call integrated software quality management, otherwise known as ISQM. Because the cyber piece, which a lot of people focus on, is on the human piece. We believe that on the engineering assessment side, that the software quality management, the architectures, the approaches done in development, tests, quality assurance, deployment, and lifetime management is a very important piece. The next element that we're dealing with is automation, because automation has been in class for many years, but now we need to integrate it as well into the cyber domain to ensure that all these different systems that are interconnected throughout the vessel, if it's for navigation, engineering control, damage control, cargo management, that all these pieces we all understand their interconnectivity to their subsystems, their components. So as we integrate it all, we understand its architecture, and we understand why it works and what the failure points are, so we all understand that from a safety assessment. 5th piece is, as I mentioned, is automation. The 6th piece that we all hear about is autonomous operations. So that becomes another very important piece in the future, is that systems are going to start making decisions on what are the impacts on the cyber side, because we're getting more and more, we're going from an interfaced world to an integrated, interconnected world that is all satellite enabled as well, and lots of networks. So we have to understand all those impacts as well, and from a safety assessment perspective. All that will be complemented by a set of rules, guidance notes, advisories, so we can go through a safety assessment process with processes and procedures that are all risk-based. And this whole initiative is very scalable and measurable to the uniqueness of every project that we do. My key message to industry would be that it's an important piece to assess, and ABS, we've initiated a guidance note on cybersecurity, which is a very easy approach to do your own internal best practices with some basic capabilities that any organization, just like ours, would have, and then some more advanced capabilities that others could evaluate themselves. But it's a good, important thing to do for your, the good cyber hygiene for your own company. It's recommended.